Did you know the Bible describes a walking practice that science now proves twice as effective as the 10,000 step rule? My clients who couldn't sustain results suddenly started transforming from the inside out once they added this biblical element. And today, I want to show you exactly how it works. Historians, scientists, and scripture all line up here. What the ancients practiced naturally, modern research has finally proven. If you're chasing 10,000 steps, you're playing the wrong game. Miss this ancient practice and you'll burn out or hit a plateau. Nail it and you'll finally see results that will last. Here's something most people don't realize. The whole idea behind the 10,000 steps a day, it wasn't discovered by a scientist. It was invented by a Japanese pedometer company in 1965. The device was called the Mampo key, which literally translates 10,000 step meter. There's no scientific research behind it, just marketing, and guess what? It's stuck. For decades, people have been chasing that number thinking it's the magic key to health. But here's the problem. Studies have shown that 10,000 steps is not some magic threshold. In fact, Harvard research found that benefits start as low as 7,500 steps, and that's what really matters is heart rate duration, not hitting some arbitrary step goal. Think about it. Do you really believe someone pushing a grocery cart or strolling around the mall is getting the same cardiovascular benefit as a person who's walking outdoors at a steady, intentional pace? Sure, they both log in 10,000 steps, but there's a massive difference in heart rate. One checks the box and the other is training their heart, burning fat, lowering stress in ways casual steps never will. Here's where scripture gives us a glimpse of something far more powerful. The ancients didn't fit in steps. They walked everywhere, miles and miles through rugged terrain. Pilgrims would travel uphill to Jerusalem for the feast, singing the songs of ascent as they climbed. Here's what's interesting. The particular heart rate that we're speaking about requires that you walk at a pace and where you're not out of breath. The pilgrims that were heading up to Jerusalem couldn't be out of breath because they were singing the Psalms of Ascent. Jesus himself walked from Galilee to Jerusalem, a journey of almost 80 miles, multiple times. Walking wasn't a number on a pedometer. It was a long, steady, purposeful movement. Modern research has a name for this. It's a kind of cardio called zone 2 or slow burn cardio. It's the optimal fat burning zone proven to burn nearly twice as much fat as casual step counting while lowering stress and building endurance you can actually sustain for a life. While we've been sold on this marketing idea, scripture was modeling the real thing thousands of years ago. By the way, I've used this ancient technique to help 5,000 people lose 30 plus pounds of fat. If you want me to show you how to put this strategy into action, just click the first link in the description below and schedule a free strategy call with me. So, long before treadmills and fitness trackers, God's people already knew the power of walking. Have you heard of the Songs of Ascent in Psalms 120 through 134? They were sung by Jewish pilgrims as they made their way up to Jerusalem. The city sits high on a hill, so every step was an ascent, every mile a climb closer to the temple. That's why in Hebrew, the Psalms are called Shir Hamalat, literally songs of steps. Picture it, families traveling for days, sometimes weeks, to celebrate feasts like Passover, Pentecost, Tabernacles, along dusty roads with children in a tow and packs on their shoulders. They walked mile after mile. As they climbed, they sang. The Psalms weren't just words on a page, they were traveling songs, chants that kept their spirits steady and their steps in rhythm. Their pace wasn't frenetic, it was measured. They could sing while they walked, converse while they climbed. That meant that they weren't necessarily gasping for air. They were moving in a sustainable, controlled rhythm. This is the same principle I teach my clients. The best walking pace for burning fat and building endurance is the one where you can talk without being out of breath. Thousands of years ago, pilgrims practiced slow burn cardio without even knowing it was slow burn cardio. Even Jesus himself lived this way. His ministry was a walking ministry. Think about it. From Nazareth to Jerusalem, there's 63 miles, and that's a steady walk. But winding roads and stretching closer to almost 68 miles. At an average of 4 miles, that's more than 17 hours of walking. Yikes. Of course, he spread the journey over days, but still, That's a tremendous amount of walking. Scholars estimate he often walked 20 to 30 miles per day during his ministry seasons. Now, we're going to look at the missing element to long-lasting health, vitality, and longevity. Transformations that the Bible has hidden in plain view. But first, I need to show you how science backed these biblical walking techniques up, okay? So this is absolutely incredible to me. The pace of walking in the Bible is what exercise scientists call today zone 2 cardio or steady state cardio. Zone 2 maximizes fat oxidation, lowers stress, and builds endurance. This cardio also had the ability to reset your metabolism and stabilize insulin levels. Two people can both log 10,000 steps. One racks them up shopping or walking through the mall, and others do it at a steady heart rate. The same number of steps, radically different results. This missing element is almost in every fitness and nutrition program that Scripture surprisingly covers. Once I discovered this ancient biblical element hidden in plain view of Scriptures, I integrated it with my clients and my success rates tripled. All my clients were able to overcome plateaus and stagnation, and yo-yo dieting became a thing of the past. When walking is paired with prayer, gratitude, or Scripture meditation, it doesn't just change your waistline, it changes your identity as a son or daughter of God. From the very first pages of Scripture, walking has always been more than movement. It's been a metaphor for life with God. The Bible constantly ties walking to intimacy with God. Think about it. Adam and Eve walked with him in the garden. Enoch walked so closely with God that God took him home. Noah walked faithfully even in a wicked generation. Micah tells us to walk humbly, showing justice and mercy. Paul says to walk by the Spirit, not by the flesh. And we're reminded we walk by faith, not by sight. Walking in Scripture isn't just about steps. It's about identity. It's about alignment. It's about transformation from the inside out. Pair your walks with gratitude, prayer, and Scripture. It moves walking from just being a fitness routine into a rhythm of life and transformation. If you're at the point where you need a little guidance or accountability to make a difference, I'd love to help. I've put a link in the description box below so that we can chat. Although you know the ancient system that can transform your mind, body, and spirit, walking is just a portion of the full puzzle. If you want all the pieces to the puzzle to sustainable weight loss, I outline them in this video right here.